First of all, thank you to Nate for all his hard work in editing and bringing this project to life. Thank you to Tony for your dedication and reliability as a player for every game. Thank you to everybody who has given us time and support, whether you be a player, an interviewee, or just general support. Thank you to It's Never Dark Enough, the whole team, really. Your team has been just so generous and really has backed us with everything you've done. Thank you to Jonathan Gilmore and Doug Lewandowski, the Kids on Bikes creators. Thank you to Jay at Feral Games Inc. Thank you to Nathan Paoletta. Thank you to Michael and Eric of Narrative Dynamics. Thank you to Mr. Turnip. Thank you to Bear Winters for your love and support. Thank you to Jack Birkenstock of the Bodana Group and giving us the opportunity to take part in Save Against Fear and for believing in us. Thank you to all the creators for your encouragement with our project. But most of all, thank you, the viewer. From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of all our hearts, thank you for watching. Hopefully you were able to get something out of it, and we hope you'll continue watching.
Where are we going? North.
Welcome to Deges and Dragons.
Therapeutic benefit in role-playing games.
Welcome to Deges and Dragons.
Oh yeah, baby.
Your presence requested in exchange for treasures.
Red River.
Are we talking one treasure each?
Count that.
Yo, have you heard of Star Wars?
Heard or heard not, there is no try.
I didn't say try.
That's because there is no try.
What are the odds you haven't seen Star Trek?
Never tell me the odds.
Wait, what? That's Star Wars.
I am
your father.
That one doesn't even make sense. You're just saying Star Wars quotes now.
I want to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Oh, all right. Well, Tiny Frontiers will certainly let you do that. And easily.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you.
There's a way out of every box, a solution to every puzzle. It's just a matter of finding it.
Yes, I'm about to explain the rules of the game. Can you try to control yourself?
There is no...
So, Tiny Frontiers is a science fiction game where you can easily create whatever setting you wish. There's really one rule to the game, and the rest is gravy. When you encounter a challenge, you will make a roll called a test. You take 2d6, that's 2 6-sided dice, and if either die comes up 5 or 6, then you succeed.
Highly illogical. There's got to be more.
Well, at the game master's discretion, or if you have any special traits from your character, you may be at an advantage, in which case you roll 3d6. You could likewise be at a disadvantage and roll 1d6. You're never at such a disadvantage, though, that you roll no dice.
Insufficient facts always invite danger.
There are 4 special actions for combat. Like I was saying about the 2d6 checks, they are used for everything. If you're trying to perform a skill, overcome a challenge, fight, etc. We begin combat by establishing initiative. This is common for role-playing games, and we've had to do it for every game so far, I think. You use the sum of the 2d6 and go in order. In combat, if you have mastered a weapon, you use 3d6 to shoot your laser pistol or swing your laser sword. You can focus, evade, suppressing fire, or take cover.
What if I told you the Republic is now under the control of the Dark Lord of the Sith?
I'd say we need to use these combat actions to fight back.
I sense much fear in you, young one.
Yes. You're speaking only in quotes while I'm trying to establish the rules.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
When you focus, you're taking aim essentially, and on your next attack, a 4 is also considered a success. You know what? We should just start the game. Everything else will be covered. If you had a few d6s and some scrap paper, you can establish your own sci-fi setting like we will.
All right. Well, beat me up, Scotty.
Mission Rescue. Welcome to Deges and Dragons. Today is the finale of Season 1, and we're playing Tiny Frontiers, a simple D6-based game which takes place in outer space. I want to remind everyone at home before I read the following that the players are hearing all of this for the first time. You are all members of an intergalactic rescue group called Such Rescue, featuring a blue space Doge crest as your symbol, traveling the galaxy aboard your mighty spaceship, the Flabberghast. You've saved thousands of space dogs from galactic wars, planets running out of food, planets with dangerous weather, and even criminals. You've successfully unloaded the last space dog up for adoption and have begun to look for your next mission locale. Recently, you've caught the attention of Felinitus Rex, the king of planet Catnip. Your intelligence gathering has yielded info that he is a regal, 2-foot-tall bipedal Abyssian. These are cougar-looking, with extended ears, short hair, and sandy coats. He believes cats are the alpha species and must force all others to submit. He despises cute space pups so much that he's constructed a massive prison called the Pound. Your team is made of skilled specialists ready to confront any challenge. A veterinarian, a groomer, a chef, and of course, a hedge fund manager. Public relations. You all also have unique jobs aboard the ship and possible backgrounds prior to fully devoting yourselves to Such Rescue.
And now we shall create our characters. Creation's really simple. You'll choose a race, 3 traits, weapon proficiency and mastery, gear, and for flavor, we're going to come up with how our group got to where it is today. Even though we're an intergalactic rescue group, certainly any background prior to that is acceptable. So 4 races we have here, we kind of want to stick to, or we definitely want to stick to our usual spread where somebody is sort of like the, average Joe type person. So somebody will be a human. But beyond that, we have the gens, which are short for genetically modified humans. They're basically superior in every way and kind of resemble orcs, at least in the art in the book. And they're also masters of warfare because of all of their enhanced superiority. And that's why they began enhancing themselves to begin with to, wage war. So as part of being a gen, you would have mastered an additional weapon. Weapon mastery means you get to roll 3d6s instead of 2d6s. The Columra, they're short, they've got 3 eyes. The one in the book, he's rocking out on I think it's supposed to be a weapon,
ears?
but it makes
It almost looks like he's rocking out on a guitar.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm he looks like he's rocking on a guitar, even though I think it's supposed to be some sort of staff or something. But for being them, you have the lowest starting health by playing one of them, but you have incredible agility. So you can test 1d6 whenever you are successfully hit by an enemy, and if it's successful, you evade the attack and do not take any damage. Typically in combat, you've got 4 options aside from the standard move, attack. It's basically move, attack, do something else. And one of the things you can do is to take a dodge action where you're not spending your turn attacking somebody. So this is basically just the dodge action is always in effect for this race to avoid taking damage. The Salamar, they're 4.5 foot tall, bipedal, amphibious, lizard-esque things. So they come in 2 forms, the pyrothermic and the cryothermic. So one of them is, based on that, if one of them takes fire damage, they're instead healed by that. That's the pyrothermic, and the cryothermic, it's the same except for cold damage. Then we have the Invex, who are...
Oh my goodness.
Definitely. They're 7.5 feet tall. They've got 4 huge insect legs going on and long spears for arms, and they've got chitinous armor. And finally, we have the Tyrannics, who are giant bipedal dinosaurs that their biceps are as big as a human's chest.
Oh, it looks like they have little vestigial arms too in the center.
Yeah, they have basically little Tyrannosaurus arms as well as mammoth diesel arms. And what's cool about them is when attacking with melee weapons, you deal +1 damage. And so when damage is dealt typically in combat, where everything's so simple, it follows that train where all damage dealt essentially is 1 damage. That doesn't matter if it's a dagger or a giant weapon, it's always 1. And you know, they say like if you role play particularly well, you can give bonuses to anything. So keep that in mind. And the Tyrannics here, though, they with their melee weapons can do 2 damage by rolling a 6. It would be good if somebody was human.
I don't know. I'll go with human.
From there, if we had the weirdest possible character,
I kind of want to be the weird little 3-eyed gremlin.
Then just a melee tank, and then a maybe dexterous ranged character to kind of give the spread of what it would look like to have these different archetypes in play here.
I kind of like to take a Jin.
So now I am conflicted whether I want to be the Salamander or the Invex. You know what? I'm going to go Invex because they're just too cool.
They are pretty cool.
All right, cool. And also your current jobs aboard the ship in addition to everything else you do. So one of you is a veterinarian, one of you is a groomer, one of you is a chef, and one of you is the captain, but also the public relations for getting the dogs adopted.
Tim, do you want to be the captain?
Well, I was going to volunteer for spaying and neutering.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. You can be the veterinarian.
Sure.
I'll be the captain.
Do it up. I will be. I'll be a chef.
And I am the groomer.
Okay, so then we pick our traits from the list here. You get 2, except for the human gets 3.
I guess one of mine will be charismatic then, so that just seems appropriate for captain.
Definitely.
I'm going to take a fleet of foot and nimble fingers.
So if you want, I'm going to go with medical savant to kind of conform to my position. But then to go with my Nordic ancestry, I'm going with berserker.
All right, so I've got survivalist, advantage on rolls to testing food, and advantage on poison rolls. And I feel like, I'm a chef, so I don't want to poison people. And I've got ecologist, so you gain advantage when attempting to find your way through natural environments.
Okay, final answer for me: charismatic and insightful.
Empath.
Empath.
The flavor text is, "What is it, boy? The robot fell down a well?" Which I feel like applies.
Did anyone take quick shot?
I did not.
No.
I might swap out fleet of foot for that. Sounds like I would get more use out of that. But
Yeah,
as a groomer, I need the nimble fingers.
With quick shot too, that ultimately could turn into 4 attacks. So on your turn, you have 2 actions, which you can use both to move, or you could use both to attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So I'm gonna use light ranged weapons.
So then we pick our masteries and proficiencies, as well as the gear itself, which all of it is really for flavor. Like you can really wear like whatever armor you want, any weapons, as long as they just fall into one of the categories. So like melee, light ranged, heavy ranged. The difference between light ranged and heavy ranged is the light range you can wield in a single hand. And after every combat, you have what's called cinematic ammo. You roll to see if you used up all of your ammo during combat.
Chainsaw is listed under melee.
Yeah, so it's like we're definitely gonna go off book a little bit with like all the weapons. Like if you wanted a chainsaw,
It's fine.
No, I can contour this. So it's like it's a bunch of like mini boxing gloves, so that you like hold up to somebody over and over.
So I would like to use like a modified railgun, like somehow modify it so the spike as it comes out will open up into a giant net and capture whatever it is I shoot it at.
Definitely. So it'll do damage still, and if it's like sufficient damage, it'll automatically wrap them up. And then if it's not enough damage, then they'll march on with just like a net draped over them. They're just wearing a net.
Yep.
I'll probably take this sonic stunner
Okay, yeah.
How would that work? So it's a light ranged weapon. So am I shooting something?
Yeah, you probably have like a little stun gun.
So,
Yeah, I picture that just.
is it like a taser?
Yeah,
Sonic. Okay. Okay, maybe not like a taser.
Yeah, I picture like in cartoons, like those circular blasts that expand.
Okay, that works.
I'll take a laser sword, not a lightsaber.
Right, yeah, not a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't want to get copywritten.
Except there's like energy dispersing through the blade to help it cut through things from both a functional and scaring away bad guys.
You're a gen, so you have mastery in something else as well.
I have a crossbow in the other hand.
And I'm actually going to go with the needle pistol.
Needle pistol? Like
tranquilizer darts, stuff like that, kind of.
Oh, that could be helpful for the vet, Tony. I could have you.
However, back in my past, I used to fill these needles with more nefarious substances.
All right, guys, I even took the green screen down so you can see where the magic happens, and I do the editing for the show here. But season 1 thank yous, I went old school, pen and paper. First off, Tony, thank you for your reliability. Like Conrad said a little bit earlier in the episode, you've been awesome this season. You've been reliably here. You've hit every episode. I haven't even done that, so that's awesome. You've helped me with some editing, with the podcast, with the show itself, so that's awesome. You've been amazing. To all of our players, you know who you are. Thank you for all your time, all of your effort, everything you've done to make this possible. And to the viewer, because without you guys, why would we be doing this, right? We wanted 100 subscribers by the end of the year. That's all we wanted, and there's 243 of you. So thank each and every single one of you, and to the 244th and beyond, welcome, and I hope you stay, and I hope you enjoy. Next, I want to say thank you to the It's Never Dark Enough team. Like Conrad said, Shattered, you guys have been amazing, probably our biggest supporters. A quick shout out especially to Tex and Zip. You guys were the first developers to reach out to us, period, across the board. But not only that, you guys have become great friends to me personally. You guys have been there for me during some dark times in my life this year, checked up on me when I needed people to check up on me, and I really sincerely appreciate that, so thank you. You've also introduced us to Bear Winters, Project Biomotus. Bear, literally one of the nicest guys on the planet, one of our biggest supporters as well. Bear, personally, a big inspiration to me, especially after sitting down with you and kind of getting your story. I see a lot of parallels in our lives, similarities in our lives, and I really like the way that you handled things compared to me. Although I don't think I handled things too bad, but I'm really inspired by what you took out of life and then created something out of it. So I want to be more like you, my friend. Jack Birkenstock, with everything you do with the Bodana Group, thank you for that personally, first of all. But second of all, thank you for everything you've done with helping with Season 1 and everything you're doing to help with Season 2. Doug Lewandowski, thank you for everything you've let us do with Kids on Bikes, helping with Free Content Friday, helping with a couple other things as well. Come sitting on the Deges cast, things like that, you've been awesome as well. Conrad said a whole bunch of other thank yous. I'm not going to sit here and reiterate all of that right now, but I do want to say a big thank you to Conrad, because you know what? We wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Conrad. If it wasn't Conrad's idea to sit down and actually do this and make this a reality, we wouldn't be doing this. Conrad, for a quarter century now, you've been like a best friend and brother to me. So your passion for helping others through role-playing games is really the reason I do this. This is a lot of work. I put a lot of time and energy and effort into the show, and I do it because I know how much you are, because I know how passionate you are about this and how much you want this to actually become a thing and how much you want to actually help people. So even though this is a lot of work, I certainly enjoy it, or I wouldn't keep doing it, obviously. But my biggest motivation for this is to make your dream a reality. So I'm hoping that I can do that and do you proud. Everybody, thank you and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Okay, and then armor is basically cosmetic. I mean, you can appear however you want.
Basically, my character and what I am today as Magnus Trinksson is wearing a collection of basically Viking armor pieced together over time that my ancestors wore, and I brought into space with me and updated their coating to deflect laser blasts and meteorites of reasonable size.
Should we incorporate that it there's like a helmet function that can like wrap around so that you could like survive in space.
Yeah, if you want to assume there's it comes around and I have an onboard oxygen pack so that I can seal my suit and go into vacuum if I have to.
I figured I'd just leave with my chitness armor.
And an apron.
Yeah, I'm a groomer. I might have little like scissors in there.
I kind of picture myself almost wearing something similar to like Han Solo. It's not necessarily chef-like, but it's functional because I am in space.
Your different spices and candy in your pockets.
Paprika!
How did we all come to be here on the Flabberghast?
I'm going to say that I was a chef on a planet that you guys stopped on to help some dogs. And you liked what I was doing so much, you needed a chef. You invited me to come along.
Well, that would be useful just in case, if any of the dogs don't make it, then we have food.
Yep, that's terrible.
Or making them treats.
In my youth and in my prime, I was feared across the verse as just this tyrannical mercenary who would just take literally any kind of job. Usually the murdery kind.
What's your character's name?
It is Spolge McSnee.
Spolge McSnee.
He wears like a really filthy like human-sized shirt. It's all like dirty and stained, like he like pulled it out of a dumpster. And he's wearing an apron over that. No pants though. Don't need them.
You think I'm wearing lower armor?
Yeah.
I sure as hell aren't.
I think I'm going to just go with something super generic as I'm a human. I'm going to go with the name Jack.
Jack
Smith.
That's right.
Jack Smith.
Jack Smith.
There we go. Jack Smith.
All right. So Magnus, how did you join this group?
So I spent a lifetime of battling, raiding space station after space station. And then one day while I was pillaging a village, I found this tiny kitty cat in the corner of a house that I was about to burn down. And it curled up against me and I picked it up and didn't sneeze, which was surprising because I'm heavily allergic to cats. And it changed my life forever. I've never looked back. I now have put my raiding days behind me, but still obviously have my skills and desire to sometimes bash heads in a polite manner. But now I'm putting my skills with knives and swords and other sharp objects to help take care of the wee little kittens and tiny puppy dogs as needed.
Yeah, so you knew of DOGGOS from his days as well.
Yes, DOGGOS and I, we went back. We were rivals, sometimes we were allies if the coin was good enough.
Yeah, it depends on where the jobs took us.
Spolge. How did Spolge come to join the Flabberghast?
So Spolge McSnee doesn't know any of these people before this really. Likely just answered a kind of vague Craigslist ad. Doesn't have any experience grooming really, but it's work.
He just lied on his resume.
Yeah.
And nobody back-checked it.
He's like, yeah, I've been a dog groomer for about 90 years now. I'm very qualified. Feed me, please.
This checks out.
So you guys should see it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, Conrad, where do you want to start? I can zoom in on a place.
Just start at the top, and then we'll scroll down. So, it's like the cockpit / pilot, right up top there, operating the controls. To the left is a shield operation. To the right, you have a couple of bombs. Going down, this is the massive grooming station, which also doubles as your own like showers and stuff. Like I picture this just being a massive chamber where water can come from every direction. The power core is to the right of that. Then your rooms, you can see you have rooms in front of the thrusters. Each of your rooms is there. They're all identical. In the center here again is an elevator, and that goes down to just a large room where you would keep all of the animals, though at the moment it is empty. You do have these 4 individual explorer ships. You have one for each of you. Then here we have just all of the different supplies. So that's just kind of to cover all of your bases. And then in the back here, you have your weapons controls, and you have missiles of freezing majesty in the back to slow down pursuers. So that's the Flabberghast.
All right.
Awesome. So we have our team, and oh no, you're under attack.